Hi everyone. So we are starting the new series for the Databricks interview questions. So in this I will be covering all the fundamental questions of the Databricks. So these are the questions that I will be covering. So let's continue. So first, what is Databricks? Databricks is a unified platform that lets you process, analyze, and manage your data. So it is like a one place where we can process our data and analyze and manage our data. So it will have many features like it will support the lakehouse architecture, and it will have the collaborative workspace. Means like multiple teams can work in the same place, like data engineers, data analysts, and the data scientists. They all can share the single workspace, single place where they can do the development work and share among themselves. So this is the unified platform for data engineering, analytics, and machine learning and SQL workloads. Okay. In simple, we can say it is one platform for all data related operations. It is built on Apache Spark. Okay, let's move ahead with the next question. Why is Databricks used in data engineering? So mainly it is used to process large volume of data. So as it is built on Apache Spark, so it will process our data in the multiple machines. So in simple words, like for example, if you are having the large file of data, so instead of processing it in the single machine, this distributed processing will distribute data among multiple multiple machines, which will process parallelly, and so that the workload on each machine will be reduced. So this is called distributed processing. So this Databricks built on Apache Spark, and it supports the distributed processing, and we are having many multiple reasons for using the Databricks. So few includes like it will provide the friendly UI where we can easily interact and create our jobs. So and it will have many language support, like it will support the PySpark, Python, even SQL, Scala, and R. And it will support the data lakehouse architecture. In I will tell you what is this data lakehouse architecture in further questions. So and it will support the batch and streaming processing. Data means, so data will be all data will be available in one place, then this data will be consumed by our jobs, then this will be processed. Streaming data means data will be coming in the near real time. So for example, if you are using the Instagram and if you are liking any post, and that will be considered as one data point. Okay, and if you are doing any kind of uh, any kind of operations on that application, that will be considered as one data point. So that is called streaming processing. So it will support both batch and streaming processing, and it will support ELT or ETL pipeline development. ELT stands for extract load transform, ETL stands for extract transform load. Okay, then it will support schema management, performance optimization, job scheduling. So we do not have to depend on any external tool like Airflow for job scheduling. Inbuilt, it will be having one special tab itself where we can manage all our jobs. Then it will provide the collaborative workspace, like for example, in your project, one data engineer, one data scientist, and one data analyst are working together. So if they want to share their work among themselves, this Databricks will support easier way of sharing notebooks among these multiple users. Then it will support the security and governance using Unity Catalog. So using Unity Catalog, it will be like a centralized workspace, centralized governance tool where we can manage all our access related things. Then integration with cloud storage. So for example, for data storage, we can rely on the external cloud storage, or even we can use the Databricks HDFS storage. It will support both kind of things. It will support easy integration with the cloud storage for the using data lake as S3 or ADLS. So moving ahead with the next question, what is Databricks Lakehouse? So lake house is a concept of two things. Okay, so if you observe this word lake, then house. So this lake word is from data lake and this house from data warehouse. So it will combine the best features of both the data lake and the data warehouse. So this data lake will support structured, unstructured, and semi-structured kind of data, and this data warehouse will support only structured data. Both are having their own advantages and disadvantages. So if we talk about this data lake, it is cheap. I mean, we can the prices are affordable when compared to data warehouse, but the problem is it is very slow while querying for the analytical purpose. Then it will having some problems. It won't support the ACID properties, means we cannot guarantee the data is in consistent state, and we cannot have the guarantee of its ACID properties, and it won't have any type of schema enforcement for the data lake. And for this data warehouse, in data warehouse it will store only structured data, and it will have the faster querying, but the problem is it is very expensive and it will only store structured data. So uh, normally the problem will arise is like in few companies, what they will do, they will use both data lake and data warehouse. Like they will store their data on in S3, then they will bring the data into the redshift, then they will use this redshift as warehouse for analytical purpose. So sometimes due to this, data duplication might happen. So to avoid this Databricks will provide one single solution, that is lakehouse architecture, where it will combine the both features of data lake and data warehouse. So here if you can see, I just mentioned all the points that I have explained. So if we compare, so it is data lake flexibility, data warehouse capabilities. It will support for structured and unstructured and semi-structured. Here we can mention unstructured, plus it will also support semi-structured. Okay, but whereas this data warehouse will support only structured data. So if you can observe this comparison, data lake versus data warehouse versus data lake house. Okay, I just mentioned all the comparison details that I have told earlier. So with respect to data, it will store all kind of data. It will store only structured data. Compared to storage, data lake is efficient compared to data warehouse. Schema, it will support schema on write, but it will support on schema on read. So these are the few comparison metrics. Um, with the in simple terms we can say like data lakehouse is a single solution for combining both the best features of data lake and data warehouse. So we'll move on to next question. So if you, what are the main components of Databricks? Okay, so the main components of in further videos I will show it in the UI. For now I'm just explaining it in the theoretical way for interview perspective. So main components of Databricks are includes Workspace, Compute, Notebooks, Delta Lake, Workflow, Databricks SQL, Unity Catalog, and it supports Git integration as well. So Workspace is a place where like it will combine all the notebooks, jobs, queries, etc. Okay, like normally we will in our projects we will create one workspace for one environment. Like let's say like one workspace for production, one for development, and one for QA testing. Okay, in this way we will manage our workspaces, and these workspaces we can share it among the users. Simply like one workspace is nothing but like a one URL, okay, where we can share with the other developers uh, to access that notebooks, tables inside that. Then compute, so this compute component will be used to execute our workloads. So mainly it will be used to manage our clusters. as I told earlier, it works on the distributed computing environment, right? So for that, this compute will allow us to automatically manage the cluster. So where we can create a cluster, we can manage our clusters. Then notebooks. So notebook is the place where we will actually write our code and execute our code. So these are the things that it currently Databricks will support. It will support PySpark as well. Then comes the Delta Lake. So this is the main component. This is part of this lakehouse architecture. So Delta Lake, if I want to explain it in detail, so internally how it works means, so we will have the data lake as like S3 or ADLS. So on top of this Delta Lake, it will provide one Delta layer. Okay, so on top of this, it will provide the delta layer. It is nothing but it will create a one folder with delta underscore log. So where it will maintain all kind of transaction details, like what are the inserts, updates, modifications that are being performed on that file. So everything will be logged as one transaction file in the form of JSON. That all files will be stored in this delta log folder. Okay, so this is the internal thing that will be happening. Then workflow or job. So in the Databricks, we'll have the separate UI component where we can orchestrate or schedule our pipeline. So using this Databricks only will support all our, no need to depend on any external tool for managing or creating the workflows. Then Databricks SQL. So this is mainly used for SQL analytics and BI operations. Then Unity Catalog, it is for governance, access control and lineage. It is the centralized governance tool where we can manage all access related things and auditing. Like we can easily see who are all having the access to the particular table and what kind of access they are having. Then we are having the Git integration. So this using this Databricks, like we can easily do the Git related operations, and we can even connect to the CI/CD Bitbucket things. Then we'll move on to the sixth question. What is Databricks Runtime? So Databricks Runtime is an execution environment used to run workloads on the Databricks. So you can think of it as like one package. So like which will one package where it includes all the related things that are required to run your particular job. Okay, so it will include like a Spark version, Python libraries if any needed, and optimizations, and like including performance improvements, like it will use the photon engine inside. So for example, if you can say this is how it will look like Databricks runtime version. Here LTS 13.3 LTS means like long term support. So it stands for long term support, and it will provide more stable runtimes suitable for production workloads. Okay, in simple terms, Databricks is a execution environment. What is Apache Spark role in Databricks? So Databricks itself is built on Apache Spark. So it mainly used for supporting distributed processing engine. So what is Apache Spark? Apache Spark is a distributed processing engine. So it is like an engine which is used to process data in the distributed manner. So this Apache Spark is like more faster compared to Hadoop and MapReduce. What are Hadoop and MapReduce? These are also kind of distributed processing engines, but they are slow when we compare that to Apache Spark. Why? Because this Apache Spark will process the data in the in-memory processing system, in memory style. It will read the data, it will process the data, and it will store the results in the in memory itself rather than writing to disk. But whereas in this Hadoop system, so it will read the data in the Hadoop, and it will process the data, and it will store the data to the disk, not to the again, for this next operations, it has to read again from the disk, and again it has to process. After processing, again it will write the results back to the disk. So it means that in the Hadoop, every intermediate step will be read and write to the disk, which makes the processing slower. Yeah, moving on to next question. What is Databricks Workspace? So a workspace is like a one working environment where we can manage all notebooks, folders, dashboards, all these things we can manage. So workspace is nothing but just like a one working environment. Okay. What is Databricks cluster? Cluster is nothing but it is a collection of machines. Okay, in the distributed processing we will have the multiple machines, so that all these machines together is called as a cluster. So in Databricks we do not have to manage any cluster. We This Databricks will auto manage that. We just have to create and use it for our jobs. So here you can see it is responsible for managing Spark application, creating execution plan, coordinating tasks, and it is responsible for communicating with each other task. So here we will have the two things like, okay, driver, worker. So this driver is responsible for all these things, and this worker is responsible for executing the actual task. So once we have the data, for example, if we have the data in file, so this driver will receive and it will create one Spark context. Then it will pass on the task. After creating, it will create one tag of all the transformations, and it will assign each task to the worker node. So this worker node will execute the actual task, and it will store the processing intermediate results, and once the processing is done, this worker will result to the driver. So this driver will give the result back to the user. Moving on to the next question, what are notebooks in the Databricks? So notebooks, as I told earlier, it is just a place where we will execute, where we will write our code and execute our code. It will support all these languages. So Databricks jobs. So Databricks jobs are workflow used to automate and orchestrate data processing tasks. In simple terms, like Databricks jobs, so this component is available in this UI. So it is responsible for creating and orchestrating our jobs. Like we can have the different tasks, like for ingestion, transforming data quality, and loading. So all these we can create as a single workflow. Inside this we can have all these tasks, and we can schedule this using Databricks jobs. Databricks SQL. So this SQL, Databricks SQL is a tab like where we will have uh, the option to execute our SQL queries. What is DBFS? DBFS stands for Databricks File System. So it provides a file system like interface, so for accessing our data and files. So it will even support the external storages like S3 or ADLS from the AWS and Azure. Then comes Unity Catalog. So Unity Catalog is a centralized governance solution for managing and access related things. So mainly it will provide access control, data discovery, data lineage, and other things. Okay, mainly in some simple terms we can say it is a one simple, I mean one step solution for all the access related problems, lineage and auditing problems. So without Unity catalog, previously how it will be like, so if we will have the one workspace, so this is workspace 2, so this is workspace 1, this is workspace 2. So each workspace will have the separate separate Unity catalog. So in this meta store, separate meta store we will have. This meta store will have all access related things. So then this workspace will have the separate meta store, like all the table related details. For example, this is one workspace we have created for production, and this workspace 2 we have created for dev. So if user want to access the table inside this workspace 1 in workspace 2, then it is not possible, and it is very difficult. It is possible, but it is very difficult to share the access related things. But after this unity catalog, now it is easier. Like how it will work is, we will have the workspace 1 and workspace 2. So on top of these two workspaces, we will have the single unity catalog, so which will be the where we can define all the access related things to multiple users. Okay, so this is how unity catalog works. So mainly unity catalog works in three level namespace. So that is catalog dot schema dot table. So here it will be like production dot sales dot orders. So to conclude this video, these are all the things that we have learned so far. Just please have a look, and in the further coming videos I will try to cover the different modules. Please let me know if anything I have to cover in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Thank you.